Chapter 16. Upon page 287, Popular Astronomy, Newcomb says that it is beyond all moral probability that unknown worlds should exist in such numbers as have been reported and should be seen crossing the solar disk only by amateur observers and not by skilled astronomers. Most of our instances are reports by some of the best known astronomers. Newcomb says that for 50 years prior to his time of writing, the sun had been studied by such men as Schwab, Carrington, Secchi, and Sporer, and that they had never seen unknown bodies cross the sun. August 30th, 1863, an unknown body was seen by Sporer to cross the sun. September 1st, 1859, two star-like objects that were seen by Carrington to cross the sun. Things that crossed the sun, July 31st, 1826 and May 26th, 1828. See Comptes Rendu 83-623, the Webb Celestial Objects, page 40, from September 6th to November 1st, 1831. An unknown luminous object was seen every cloudless night at Geneva by Dr. Wortman and his assistants. It was reported from nowhere else. What all the other astronomers were doing September to October 1831 is one of the mysteries that we shall not solve. An unknown luminous object that was seen from May 11th to May 14th, 1835 by Kakator, the Sicilian astronomer. Two unknown that, according to Pasteroff, crossed the sun November 1st, 1836 and February 16th, 1837. De Vico's unknown, July 12th, 1837, observation by De Coppus, October 2nd, 1839, by Scott and Ray, last of June, 1847, by Schmidt, October 11th, 1847, two dark bodies that were seen February 5th, 1849, by Brown of Deal, object watched by Side Botham, half an hour, March 12th, 1849, crossing the sun. Schmidt's unknown, October 14th, 1849, and an object that was watched 4 nights in October 1850 by James Ferguson of the Washington Observatory. Mr. Hind believed this object to be a trans-Neptunian planet and calculated for it a period of 1,600 years. Mr. Hind was a great astronomer, and he miscalculated magnificently. This floating island of space was not seen again. About May 30th, 1853, a black point that was seen against the sun by Janik. A procession in the report BA 1855-94, R.P. Gregg says that upon May 22nd, 1854, a friend of his saw near Mercury an object equal in the size to the planet itself, and behind it an elongated object, and behind that something else, smaller and round. June 11th, 1855, a dark body of such size that was seen without telescopes by Ritter and Schmidt crossing the sun. September 12th, 1857, Oort's unknown world seemed to be about the size of Mercury. August 1st, 1858, unknown world reported by Wilson of Manchester. I am not listing all the unknowns of a period. Perhaps the object reported by John H. Tice of St. Louis, Missouri, September 15th, 1859, should not be included. Mr. Tice was said not to be trustworthy, but who has any way of knowing? However, I am listing enough of these observations to make me feel like a translated European of some centuries ago, relatively to a wider existence, lands that may be the San Salvadors, Greenlands, Madagascars, Cubas, Australias, of extra geography, all of them said to have crossed the sun, whereas the sun may have moved behind some of them. January 29th, 1860, unknown object of planetary size reported from London by Russell and 3 other observers. Summer of 1860, see Scientific American 35-340 for an account by Richard Covington of an object that, without a telescope, he saw crossing the sun. An unknown world reported by Loomis of Manchester, March 20th, 1862. A newspaper account of an object that was seen crossing the sun. February 12th, 1864, by Samuel Beswick of New York. Unknown that was seen. March 18th, 1865, at Constantinople. Unknown cometic objects were seen. November 4th, 9th, and 18th, 1865. Most of these unknowns were seen in the daytime. Several reflections arise. How could there be stationary regions over Irkutsk, Comrie, and Birmingham and never obscure the stars, or never be seen to obscure the stars? A heresy that seems too radical for me is that they may be beyond the nearby stars. A more reasonable idea is that if night watchmen and policemen and other persons who do stay awake nights should be given telescopes, something might be found out. Something else that one thinks of is that if so many unknowns have been seen crossing the sun or crossed by the sun, others not so revealed must exist in greater numbers, and that instead of being virtually blank, space must be archipelagic. Something that was seen at night, observer, not an astronomer. November 6, 1866, an account in the London Times, January 2nd, 1867, by Senor de la Follonque of the British Consulate at Cartagena, U.S. Columbia, of a luminous object that moved in the sky. It was of the magnitude, color, and brilliance of a ship's red light, as seen at a distance of 200 yards. The object was visible 3 minutes and then disappeared behind the building. Dr. Flabank went to an open space to look for it, but did not see it again. How's it end? Does this fucking thing end? I hate this shit. Just fucking fuck. Shit, I'm still recording here. Cocksucker.